Everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a really powerful way of thinking about parenting, especially for families with neurodiverse kids. It's called Lighthouse parenting, and it's all about hitting that sweet spot between being a supportive guide and, letting our kids become truly independent.
Oof, that's a tough question, right? Because as a parent, you're always trying to do the right thing to protect and guide your child. But sometimes it can feel like you're holding on just a little too tight. And if you're a parent of a child with autism or ADHD or other needs, that feeling can be, it can be really intense.
So, let's talk about a common trap that so many of us fall into. And it comes from a place of love, it really does. It's that whole helicopter parenting thing. The problem is, for our neurodiverse kids who really need that extra space to process the world, constantly hovering and controlling can actually backfire, and pretty badly.
And wow, when you put them side by side, the difference is just crystal clear. On one hand, you've got the helicopter, right there, micromanaging every single move, which can accidentally create dependence. But on the other hand, you have the lighthouse. It's this steady, guiding light from a distance, and it helps build the very things we want our kids to have: real resilience and true independence.
And listen, this isn't just a hunch or a feeling. There's real data on this. A 2024 study showed that a whopping 58% of neurodivergent kids felt more stress and had less confidence in their own decisions because of over-involved parenting. That's more than half. It's a huge number.
So here's the bottom line. When a child, especially one who experiences the world differently, is constantly being managed, they just don't get the chance to develop their own sense of self, their own autonomy. It can completely stifle their ability to learn how to self-regulate, and that just creates this cycle of dependence we want to avoid.
But the good news is, there is a better way. And this is what we're really going to get into today: how to embrace being that guiding lighthouse. It's an approach that is just so much more empowering, not just for your child, but for you too.
So, what is lighthouse parenting really? Well, picture yourself as that strong, steady beacon on the shore. You're not on the boat with your kid, grabbing the wheel and steering for them. No, you're providing a consistent, reliable light that shines on the path ahead. It illuminates the rocks and the rough waters, but it lets them learn how to navigate their own ship safely.
I love this quote because it just says it all, doesn't it? It's such a powerful little reminder to guide with light and warmth and support. Instead of trying to control with constant pulling and restriction, it's really all about trust.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But you're probably thinking, how do I actually do this? Let's get practical. We're going to break it down into 5 concrete strategies you can start using, like today.
All right, here are the 5 pillars we're going to walk through. We've got using visual cues, offering what I call sensory smart support, encouraging based on their strengths, guiding them through problem solving, and finally, setting flexible boundaries.
First up, visual cues. For so many neurodiverse kids, especially those on the autism spectrum who just thrive on predictability, things like visual schedules or timers are absolute game changers. Actually, a 2025 study found these tools improved task completion by 62%. They give your child structure without you having to be the one constantly hovering and reminding.
Number 2 is sensory smart support. This is all about creating an environment that works with your child's sensory needs, not against them. So instead of a rigid stop fidgeting rule, you might offer a cool fidget toy. It's about giving them tools for self-regulation, like a quiet corner with a weighted blanket, instead of just enforcing rules that don't really fit how they experience the world.
Okay, strategy 3 is a big one. Focus on what your kid is amazing at. If your child with ADHD is a rock star at building things, lean into that. Celebrate it, use it as a source of confidence instead of only focusing on their struggles with homework. Celebrating those small wins, those moments of strength, is what builds the confidence they need to advocate for themselves later on.
Next up, instead of jumping in to solve every single problem, we guide them to find their own solutions. So if social situations are tricky, you could role-play some scenarios when things are calm and relaxed. Just asking questions like, what do you think you could try saying next time? Helps build those critical life skills without you just taking over.
And finally, number 5, flexible boundaries. Now, this does not mean no rules. It just means the rules can adapt. For a child with ADHD, for instance, a super rigid rule like, you must finish all your homework by 6 p.m. might just be setting them up to fail. But a rule like, let's break your homework into small chunks with fun breaks in between, that teaches accountability while respecting the way their brain actually works.
Okay, let's get real for a minute. putting this style into practice is not always going to be a walk in the park. You're absolutely going to face some challenges from the outside world, whether that's from the school system or even from other parents who just don't get it.
You're going to run into things like rigid school policies or maybe feel that judgment from others. The key here is to become a confident advocate for your child. Work with the school to get your child's individualized education plan, their IEP, to reflect these Lighthouse principles. And just as important, find your people. Online communities for parents of kids with special educational needs can be an absolute lifeline for support and new ideas.
So, you navigate all those hurdles. What's the payoff? Why is this approach so worth it? Let's talk about the incredible long-term benefits of being a lighthouse for your child. See, by stepping back from that helicopter role and really embracing the lighthouse, you're not just surviving the day-to-day. You are actively helping your child build a deep foundation of resilience. You're teaching them how to advocate for themselves, you're fostering emotional intelligence, and you're giving them all these critical skills they are going to need for the rest of their lives. It's a true investment in their future.
And we'll leave you with this beautiful idea. Your job isn't to sail the boat for them. It's to be that steady, unwavering light that guides them safely to their own shore. So what's just one small thing you can do this week to be a little more of a lighthouse and a little less of a leash?